Good evening, CKL, and welcome to tonight's primetime matchup between the University of Nebraska and the University of Alabama at Huntsville. I am Ghost, your host tonight, along with Airhawkey, and we've got an exhilarating D3 matchup for you tonight.
That's right, Ghost. D3 has been one of the most competitive divisions this season. We've seen UNL go 4-0 this season, while UAH is 2-2. This is a very important match for both teams, and there's a big legacy tied to it.
Right, and we've seen a lot of history even with this game. UAH leads that series 3-2, but let's look at the current standings here. What else should we say? UNL standing atop of top of Conference B and atop the division as a whole, going undefeated so far in 4 games, and UAH having a very, very solid and respectable 500 record here, looking to kind of take the tide and really take charge in their playoff run here.
Yeah, and not only if you look at UNL's performance, you're seeing not only they have this 4-0 record, but you look at that margin per game and you're seeing it's about 300. That's averaging over 75-point victories per game. It's very strong performances by them every single time. They are the team to beat right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, they've had really, really good performances so far. Hate to say it, but putting up 100, nearly 150 against your team, Air Hockey.
Yeah.
Now they did also beat the University of Tennessee as well by 20, and as well as beating NC State by 24. Some very, very strong teams that we've seen so far, and it's really interesting to see how they've actually played differently in these matches as well.
Yeah, the biggest thing that's going to jump out if you start looking at these tables, you'd expect Mark Coco, their team leader, played with U-Turn previously, one of their strongest players. You'll see on a lot of tables, he's got these good performances, but his teammates usually end up having higher indivs than him, and that's a direct part of how he plays, of kind of falling into the mid pack a little bit, letting his teammates get out in front and run while he can play the mid pack, fall back on really strong item play, and just beat down anyone on the other team that tries to get ahead.
Yeah, and it's worked out so well for the Reckless Reds so far this season. And watching some other players even step up and take the job of being scoring those points, it's been really crazy to see. Crazy play super well, and is honestly my dark horse to win Most Improved Player for Division 3 so far this year.
Absolutely, I
So
would agree. Like you look at some of these tables, you're seeing he's got like a 127. If you look at the season standings, he's one of the top people right now overall. Just an incredibly strong performance. Right now, he's averaging 114 points per game, the highest on his team.
yeah, which incredible to watch. And playing, we both played against.
Mhm.
Eventually, we'll be playing against both of these teams, if not already. And like, just amazing to watch and see how each of these teams play, and learning about how they attack the race course every single day.
Absolutely right. And I think to maybe end on the commentary for UNL a little bit here, I think the biggest question is going to be as this season progresses, does this strategy continue to work? And how much of this strategy of Marcoco playing the mid pack relies on you not expecting it? Because it's sneaky. You don't realize it's happening until you look at the boards maybe 7, 8 races in, and it's like, oh, like Marcoco's only on like 70, 80 points after 10. Like that what's going on there? I think he'd be at like 100 by now. And by the time you
Right.
notice it, it might be doomed at that point.
And just now checking in, yeah, now looking here at the indies here, seeing that even Crazy's ahead. You have more Coco there, who's averaging 105 through 4, and down with Ouija as well. They have a lot of people scoring a lot of points, and they're putting up great numbers right now. It's honestly incredible to see. But that can't go without saying that Green JC from UAH is putting up a masterclass so far this next season.
Absolutely right. Green JC's been doing very well this year. He had a dominant performance in D2 East and NRC earlier. He's been playing very well. You look at these tables, he's top 5 overall in the division and by a pretty good margin. Green is a very good player, almost silver, just very strong, very effective at what he does, and he's done very good things for his team here.
Right, and I actually got the chance to speak with him earlier today about some keys to the game and kind of what they're looking for. And it might be basic, but I really felt moved. And to be honest, I mean, they just said trying to get those shot calls good and avoiding friendly fire, as stating those are the keys to victory here. As well, in the wise words of Creo, They just have to play the game and focus on being consistent in every match.
Yeah, because historically, UAH has won this matchup. If you look at the records over time, UAH beat UNL in syllabus week, and their overall matchup is 3-2 overall. They can beat this team, and they've done it many times before.
Oh yeah, and I think it's a toss up here. There's a lot of history. This is a historic CKL match. I feel coming into the scene last CKL season, watching some of these older teams play, it's been a real treat. I'm excited. I think this is going to be one of the biggest matches for Division 3 this season, and we're going to see kind of who's going to come out on top for this division.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every match matters, but like this match specifically could be the difference between making and not making playoffs for this team. And I think knowing that for them, I think can matter a lot. I think if they know it's a make or break match, it's going to do a lot of good things for them. I think the big thing is, do they start to maybe crumble a little bit under pressure? I don't think they will. I think there's a lot of strong players on this team. Beyond Green, you've got like Creo. He plays Funky Kong. Obviously, like you can laugh about it, but he's still very good at the game. Like he absolutely deserves the respect for it.
Right. And it's and I think both of these rosters have incredible depth. And let's take a look at the lineups here for this race. As for UAH here, we have Short, Creo, Green, Nothing, Court Effects, and Cheese. This is kind of their day to day. This is who they're bringing. Going against that Reckless Reds lineup, Marcoco, Crazy, Ouija, Mop, T-Bugs, and Skelly. I feel like, it's a toss up here today, folks. And, for who I'm going to even consider to be winning this match.
Absolutely right. Both teams have brought some of their strongest players. It is definitely anyone's game to win tonight. This is going to be a war to watch.
Oh yeah, and kind of like looking back on some of these, it's been difficult. I think just the Reds. I don't know. The Reds have this edge. I haven't played against UAH yet, but for me, I think the Reckless Reds are going to come out on top, and they're going to win this game.
Right. I'm a little bit inclined to lean towards UH or towards UNL as well. I think honestly, the longer a team stays undefeated, personally being in D3, both of us as well, it does feel a little better to know like we lose to a team that everybody's lost to. But I do think that is absolutely deserved, and I do think we're probably going to see why they've been undefeated up to this point.
Right. Yeah. This is going to be like we've been saying, all since the start of the broadcast. This is the match right now. We have some crazy matches in D3, and I think Division 3 as a whole is somewhere where most of these teams have a shot, and it's going to be a race to get into the playoffs. I think all the teams in Division 3 are gutsy, and they have, each of them play in their own different way. It's kind of hard. Each one's extremely unique, and it's obviously we both play within this division. It's incredible to watch.
No, it's been very competitive. My own team can speak to this. Every single one of our matches we've won has been down to the wire by under 20, 30 points. So many matches in this division are competitive. And these two teams have been in D3 3 seasons in a row. They keep running into each other. And there's just more and more history. And this match just matters more and more every time it happens.
All right, we'll see if UNL can even the series up here, or if UAH can extend that series lead to 4-2. So hopefully the match will get going here in a couple of minutes. But now looking at some notable finishes in their CKL history. Again, lots of these teams have been historic, and they played in almost every single tournament CKL has had. UNL being in semifinals for D3, as well as being the runner-up for Division 3 as a whole. It's incredible.
Right, for sure. I think something also, the last thing I've been thinking about a little bit that I do think is maybe one more thing to think about going into this match. There's a lot going on here with these teams, specifically these teams, but it's like the way that Marcoco has led his team has set him up in this way where, with the exception of his spot in the mid pack, which is where if you get hit, you're gonna fall to the mid pack anyway. It doesn't rely on one person going up out in front and running, because like we saw when CKL started, the meta was always usually like, oh, like your players that like play an MKU and like play lounge a lot, like they're gonna go run in front, they're gonna fight with each other, and then everyone else is gonna kind of fight for scraps in maybe like 5th or 12th. And so shifting that and changing it, it's been working. And I think one of the things that makes it so strong is that it doesn't rely on one person having to like play perfectly the whole time. Like if you're like, say like you're like Mop and like, oh, you get head out in first, you line fail a little bit, like you're okay. Crazy's right there to take over behind you, or Ouija can take over.
Yeah, it's that depth, and it provides so much for each of these teams. And you were talking about the mid pack there. I think the key to this game is if whoever usually takes control of the mid pack usually wins the war, usually wins the match. And we'll see. Unless a bagging masterclass occurs here tonight, I expect, and want to be something as we get started here in this first race, picking Sunshine Airport now with Marcoco in first. Let's get started here, folks. So it looks like Green's down here in second. We're looking at lots of UNL in the bottoms as Marcoco does miss that box. This could be an opportunity for Green to take it here. They got 2-3. Being aggressive here. It looks like Marcoco does not have defensive first. Very smart to let Green through there.
Does look like whether that was a first place item or not. Green. Oh, ow. That is not good for Green.
Getting hit out like that is never a good thing. Very, very unlucky. Had a bomb in first. Could have been deadly there for them. But Marcoco does reclaim his first place slot.
Red bomb is such a strong combo to have in first. Anytime I'm overjoyed to have that, especially on a track like this.
I know we got Crazy there. Backing a little bit of fire. Can do some damage here. But we do have a UNL top 3 forming. And it still looks like they have a lot of back presence and might hit the burn there. But broke it on the box. Very, very smart.
Yeah. Big break on Sunshine Airport. Hard running is to be expected with this track. This is one of the runners in this game. So not totally surprising Marcoco is this far out in first right now. Having top 3 as second and third players also getting a bit of a break too. Very strong for them.
Yeah, it looks like there's a shock there. Definitely benefited UAH. We'll probably... Oh, and there's another shock. Green is holding...
Shock in fourth.
Dodge shock with Bill. Very, very smart to get him into set. Probably going to be able to shock blue him there.
Marcoco did
Got the shroom. Yeah, gonna do some damage there with that fire. Oh, but they messed up there. It stole first. Oh my goodness, getting down the wire there.
Second. Incredible plays by Green there at the end. Does manage to break the Nebraska tops a lot, taking what would have been otherwise a pretty bad top 3 into a 1-3 for UAH. Really good salvage to start the war for them.
Yeah, and getting, UAH getting there first there is definitely going to be there. It's only a little bit of a loss there for UAH. Nothing that you can't come back from. After all, it is only the first race.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah. Now, Hyrule is I think I like that track pick. I think picking from, at least for what we've done with Tennessee, it's been picking runners, and if you get first, it's just pick a runner and pick something. And a very, very common anti-one there by UNL with Athens Dash.
Mm-hmm. I think both teams have made very good track picks here, especially considering how tight the UNL tops are outside of first. I mean, they don't have 1 or 3, but they've got 2, 4, 5, 6. Really, really strong spot to be.
Right. Hyrule does get selected. Definitely an opportunity where, if you do still have those bottom spots, you can shroom up early here and force, front presence as well. See if we get started in this race.
Bottom presence absolutely important on this track too. Shock can be devastating with one of the best shock spots in this game by the gliders.
For sure, as Green does get instant redded there. Sadly, before his item could come out. Now back to crazy here. And an early top 3 for UNL. Top 4 there.
for them. We've seen this before on Sunshine. That's a top 5. Does look like Creo's in there somewhere. We've been here before. But it does look like they're able to hold it right now.
Let's see if this can shake out. It's very deadly. You can get ahead on this track extremely far. It is very, very hard. And after a certain point, Shock is not able to be helped as much. Kind of looks like we're just having... It looks a lot... UNL is still keeping those back presence, the back presence there.
Green doing his best to break into their tops, and he's got the items to do it with. Triple greens are one of the best things you could have if you're infiltrating a top 4 run.
Right, still now in 3, 4 greens, but it does look like UNL has a horn in second. We'll see if Green wants to try to take that out, or they're going to slow horn him. Won't be surprising here.
Goes for the green snipe, misses, still got a few more shots.
There, I thought he would have hit him there, but unfortunate miss.
Looks like he hit whoever was 4th does seem like that kind of top 4 plus green break has turned into a bit of a top 3. So he is putting some good work in here.
Right. Top, and a little top 2. Nice slow horn there by T-Bugs, allowing Marcoco to get into 3rd. Fortunately, can't keep it though. Middle is now open, and Green gets planted. Tragic there. Oh, and planted again. It does look like there's a lot of UNL tops here. See if Funky Kong just got hit on the mini-map. Look at to salvage whatever they can. They look like they have 5-6 right now.
Bomb and 4 is going to be bad.
Yeah, and that's a top 4 from UNL. That is a great race. See if they can scrape any bottom spots as well. UAH with a bottom 2. Top 4, 9, 10 is a phenomenal race for UNL.
Especially on UAH's track pick too. I think that's what we're talking about, this depth of how like it didn't really ever matter who on UNL was in first. It just mattered that somebody on UNL was in first.
Yeah. Being able to hold, I think they do a phenomenal job of protecting their top spots. They'll int themselves out of their current positions, but they're going to be able to make a play there to, maybe if they line fail a little bit or they go out of their way, but they're still allowing somebody to go ahead.
Yeah, like that slow horn was just so simple, so effective. Like it just worked. Obviously, you can argue like there's a bit of risk there because like, oh, what if a blue comes and now I've just burned my horn in second? But it's like, if they've got with how far gone top 3 are, like, who are they going to lose spots to? Just each other.
Yeah. It really, really plays like that is kind of what we live for. Like, the riskiness of having to get out an early lead is what we're having to resort to here. As now we're moving on to our 3rd match with Twisted Mansion, which I believe was UAH's track pick. Yep.
This is about the kind of track I would expect them to pick here. Twisted Mansion, kind of known for being much more of a resetter track. And a reset's definitely what you need after getting top forward. So I think they've made the right call here.
Sure, very unlikely that anybody from UNL would have gotten any shrooms there in the top 4. But, being able to still hold those top presences. Now we see Green out here. Off to an early lead. Does look like UNL does have 2-3, at least 2-3 behind them. I see on the mini-map, it's definitely a lot more than that.
And UNL's got some of the bottom spots too, and especially with Twisted Mansion, Shock is always so powerful on this track, and it shows up so much. That's why it gets picked as a resetter, is that it doesn't matter where you start. It matters how you play during a race. And these are the spots I'd want to be in. Like, maybe I'd like first, but I would absolutely be fine with having multiple people in the back.
Right. It looks like this could be some people shrooming up here. Just going to see how this shakes out. Looks like there's Creo who's in 4. Green's getting ready behind. Got some defense for it. Yeah, Creo now here in 3rd. See what Creo can do here. Do some damage. Got 2 UNL members. Bomb up bright. Able to evade.
Does look like some of these bottom spots are at shock distance. They were for that last set. Looks like they're going to be again.
But UAH here with a solid 1-3. And it looks like Creo's going to hold this room for the next shortcut, which is smart in my opinion. I like holding that. We got to be careful of those reds.
Dodges the fire. Good work. That Rang after can do a lot of damage too.
All right, wouldn't be surprised. I'd definitely back this soon. There's not a lot of them behind.
Does go for the single. Yeah, if you're going for the single there, I think I back it sooner.
I feel like it might be a fine play, but it's definitely still fine. They have top 2 here. We'll see if they can hold. UNL's definitely got everything behind them.
Second place coin isn't great, but just the threat of that rank did look like it kind of scared one of the UNL players into going to the right path, which really good. You don't even have to use that boomerang. You can just scare people into using it or into going the wrong way. That is great play.
Right. And Crazy got squashed there.
Try to evade
losing a lot of spots. I think
And
that's
that
going to
is
end
the
up being a
respect
top
UAH
3 by UAH. Yeah. Top 3, 9, 10, 12. Still a very, very solid. I believe like a plus 8-ish.
I mean, it's
10?
positive. That's all. Sometimes that's all you want out of a reset or track. It's just anything but what just happened to you. And a top 3 is far, far better than what they just had happen to them. They do gain a little bit on this, very much in contention. It's only a difference of 24 right now after 3 races.
Right. And these are 2 good track picks. These are definitely staple picks, I believe, for both of these teams. I see BC3 getting picked by both UAH and UNL, but I definitely have seen UAH pull out Bowser City a couple of times.
Yeah, I played with Green in NRC East D2. We played Neo Bowser City most matches. This is absolutely a comfort track for Green.
And they do get to play it, which is very, very nice.
Especially with Green in a top spot. I think we see a world Green gets out into one and he holds first. Because with how much this track can be like crabs in buckets right now, if Green can escape at the start, he's kind of just gone. Like, even if you pull a blue, it doesn't matter if you blue first if you're going to get Reddit anyway. Like, if everybody just keeps dragging each other down, first is gone.
So we'll end up seeing with now the start of the race happening. Marcoco started in 4th there. Did break his way into 3rd. No item, though. Get the UMT board. We're going to see how we're going to take this section right here. This is kind of where a lot of people get hit out early.
I think I like streaming up there. You know, like, you're taking a bit of a risk. I mean, the players all have comms right now, so they know more than we do. But taking that risk to break out of all of that, fall off the track isn't great. But seeing what you avoid with streaming, I really like that play there.
And doing a great job. And honestly, it's kind of just letting Green cook. And Creo's been doing a great job. It actually gets hit by those greens there. It's unfortunate. Sometimes happen. Looks like UAH has 1, 3, 4 there. Now 1 top 3, it looks like. That little play that happened. And yeah, it's true enough. We do have Green JC up here at the top, just cooking.
So look how tight that mid pack is. It started it down a little bit, but 2 through 8 are all so close to each other right now. 2 through 9, actually. They're all so tight. UNL does have 3 at bottom 4, which is pretty scary. Shock is powerful on his track. Blue is really good on his track. Creo streaming up, turning this into a top 5 for them.
As the Shock is definitely going to need to be pulled here by UNL. It looks like they have full odds now. And yeah, sure enough, Shock gets pulled. Dodge a couple. It looks like Creo dodged up there too. Ain't even going to be bad. We'll see now.
Dodging in second is always incredible. Green's still got a pretty big lead, and it is lap 3. It's going to take a miracle at this point to knock Green out of it. I don't think it can happen anymore, especially with Creo in 2.
Yeah, and even maybe making a bomb play here wouldn't be horrible. It's definitely going to be a lot of people streaming up. It looked like there was a lot of UNL people back there, but going to hold that. Be safe. Very respectful. That's crazy. He had trips there.
Especially now we see UAH shorts in 3. I definitely think backing a bomb right there is not the right play. Very good decision by Creo. And that's a top 4 for UAH. Very big. And so quickly. Yeah, that top 4 cancels at the top 4 in Hyrule, and now UNL's only up 4 points.
And see, these... I mean, it's going to be a grunge match tonight, folks. And this is... They're going to go back and forth as UNL goes again with a nice BC3 pick. Let's see what UAH wants to come out here with the track pick. Actually not surprised about that one either. Nice little Snespo.
Yeah, no, if you've got top 4 and you can pick the track where the people in the top 4 all have a huge advantage at the start, you pick the track where the people in top 4 have a huge advantage in the start.
Makes perfect sense to me. We'll see what track pick we're going to get here. It looks like it's going to be BC3. Definitely one of a lots of, at least for me, lots of places I like to back on. Very tight corners. It kind of forces you to go certain ways. So, I would expect to see a lot of backs here and a lot of aggressive plays by both teams on this track as well.
Absolutely agree. My favorite place to be in this track is in one, chaining and backing whenever I can.
The most fun. Oh, the start. The start is always important here on this track. See who's going to shroom up in a very aggressive green there. Worked out for Crazy. Great play there.
Crew did have a shroom there. Already starting to break out into 1. Very good start. Knocking out would have been a top 2. Oh, never mind. Green's still in it.
That lag hit there. He's going to shroom up there. Has a ring and able to use it now since the teammate got hit up. Holding 2. Top 2 here. Not much back there. It's now only a top 3 for UNL there. Or a lot of mid
first place. Lethal bomb right there. Kree almost getting knocked off the track by it too. Manages to stay on, keeps the last couple coins he had. Very good.
And look what Green has here. Beautiful, beautiful.
And Blue's out too. Oh my god. This is... Wow.
It looks like... UAH had...
Looks like UNL had a blue dodge.
Getting that, but UAH does have bot 2 here. Definitely need to catch up. Top 3 have a huge break.
Yeah, that first shroom of these triples by Green closes the gap. Still pretty close to Ouija. Looks like they both have a shroom though.
Yeah, but bangs to the wall, manages to stay on the track there. So they're just going to hold, and Green's going to be content with 3rd here.
They did a risky red at the end. UNL did a 4th. Didn't look like it mattered though. Looks like it'll be a pretty even race. UNL did get top 2-4, which makes this a very strong race for them, but UAH is just about every spot behind.
Not bad, as Green's already looking good. I mean, yeah, only a 14-point lead now for UNL, extending it just a bit there. See what UAH is going to now come back with. Probably something shroomer, and they had a couple of bottom spots. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they throw it out there. They like Cheeseland. I know they like their baggers. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled something out like that eventually, but...
Yeah, no, if you're good at baggers, I absolutely think, you should pick baggers, and we're seeing that with Snowland by UAH.
Yes, and one of my teammates' favorite tracks there.
Yep. Definitely one of the more technical baggers in this game, because the strength in bagging it comes from that huge shroom cut that you need shrooms to take. So you got to be somewhere where you can pull shrooms to take it, which isn't top 2-4. Royal Raceway, honestly, Royal Raceway, if I'm in UAH's shoes, if I see them pick Royal Raceway, I'm not that upset with that. Like, you can absolutely bag that track as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's mainly what you get. For Shock usually comes at least once or twice on that track, but now we get to have a Snowland race. Let's see who wants to. Let's have fun with that. Let me see who's going to set the pace of play here. Just seeing who's going to go and end up going forward. As it looks like they're UNL sending 3 and. See where we can actually see where Shock is. As Green's going there. Now swapping to Creo's POV.
Looks like Green drove the track to bag a little bit. Not sure if I agree with that decision so much. I think the benefit from bagging and pulling that late place set over losing 3 coins, I'm not sure is worth it with the number of coins on this track. But I absolutely think I'll probably be proven wrong knowing these players. Creo gets
Right,
into
Creo-
first, still has a Shroom. Just clips the Penguin. Clips the Penguin again. Not good.
Yeah, but Blue's out here, though. Korea's not in a horrible position if nothing else really happens. Kind of looking to not pull shock until after this major cut. We'll see what happens here in the back. Mainly from this set here. Nice pull by Green. Probably, yeah, pull. Use build there. I think
Timing to
shock.
use that bill as well.
Yeah, if shock's gonna come, it might come now. It's either gonna come now or within his last couple turns. Green takes the small shortcut, ends up hitting the off road there, and it's Lackitude.
Does have Shrooms to recover, which is really good. Marcoco building up into first. Only a coin to help him up there, though.
Right now we got Creo here in second, looking solid. Gonna back some of these nanos and end up taking the Shroom cut. Securing them second place. Looks like UNL does get 1-3-5. Nice steal there for fourth. Crazy trying to Shroom up, steal another spot. Doesn't get, takes the cut a little too tight. So 1-3-5-7 bought 2 there for UNL.
Shockless Snowland is definitely interesting. I mean, it happens. It just, I don't know, like you never really expect it to happen that much, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's funky. You don't, I mean, you're playing for shock. You're kind of expecting shock to happen that race. It definitely throws you off your game. So being able to adjust like that, where you're realizing no one's really going to pull shock, then you got to be able to adjust accordingly.
Especially with how Snowland's cut works too, because if you're using your last room to take that cut, you're so exposed once you land. Like you might get some sets to help you, but you're only gonna pull first place items. If you're lucky, you'll have 2 defense with you. Like it forces situations like we saw in the match where like Shorts in first, Creo's in second with a Shroom. General wisdom would say drop out and Shroom dodge the blue. But on track like Snowland, you have to think, is it worth it? Like, is that Shroom cut gonna matter more? And it really is, it depends. It can be better in either situation. And it really is about what you're feeling in the moment sometimes.
Of course. As now we reach the halfway point. UNL only up by 16. Very, very close here as Crazy's looking to bag immediately. Just kind of having perma back presence here. Not a bad play. We've seen a lot of teams do it. As UAH Green is just setting the pace here, trying to get himself a nice pull for double defense and taking that time lights that corner super tight. Excuse me. As Marcoco's chaining here, hoping to get 2 reds and does get his wish. And almost smart bounce there, a little bit of a lag hit, and Marcoco is going to chain at least one of those reds. And looking back, it looks like packs kind of spread out. Looks everybody's looking to be kind of forming. See where these pockets of mates are going to happen. We'll get Creo here. Looking to do some damage with triple greens. Got 2 UNL players ahead of him, one with triple greens. Trying to cut in front.
Does look like Greens doesn't have the most support up there right now, especially with blue coming out. But with this much of a gap, you kind of just got to eat it right now. Unless you got a Horn, which Green doesn't. Is probably going to have to take that blue. I think I was trying to go for a nano dodge there. Couldn't quite get there in time.
Right, and then, now you're going to have to think, is that the play? Because what happens if they pull reds behind you? And lucky for him, no. But Marcoco does have fire to use at their disposal.
Really fortunate Ghost to lose those triple greens, especially in this upcoming section. Smart bounces can be lethal.
Taking a touch of fire there. Now coming up, UH with 1-3-4. 1-3-4-6.
Didn't chain that red to second place coin. Gets ghosted anyway. Not like it matters too much. Does still look like a really strong race for UAH. They are still absolutely in this.
Oh, yeah. Looks like UNL got bought 2 there. Yeah, that was a really solid race for UAH. Definitely.
That's a good race. They're gaining off that for sure.
Oh, yeah. Probably something like a +10, maybe a little bit more. We'll see when it officially updates here on the scoreboard, folks. And it looks like UNL is just ripping Royal Raceway again.
Yeah, there's not that many spots where Royal Raceway is objectively bad to pick, especially not common ones. Like a top 6, no, you don't want to pick it, but how often do you actually get a top 6? Like, it's good in most places. It's okay to run. It's okay to bag. Playing in the mid pack's fine for pulling attack items. Playing a little bit towards the back to pull shrooms is fine. There's never really too much of a wrong strategy on Royal, and I feel like you can justify a lot of strategies as long as you commit to them and everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're comfortable on a track, regardless of whether it really, really helps your spot, you could probably still pick it. And if you think that you know how to play the track better than the other team and can get ahead and use that strategy to your advantage, then UNL's top 2 does
This is
look
a
like they have
very
4,
strong
5, 2.
top 2. Having a Shroom in first, having a green and bomb in second, very powerful, especially on some of these more narrow turns.
All right, now looking like top 3, 6. Now this Crazy can do some damage here with a Rang. Does that damage. Now in 4th. Gonna have to go around the bomb. Does it a great evade there. Blue is out. UAH is in 3rd there. I believe that is the Dry Bones player. You get a chance to look at their names. They're gonna end up just taking this blue. Oh, got hit by that blue explosion.
Got the Shroom dodge. T-Bug's got the Shroom dodge there.
Yeah. Cordy now in danger of that horn. Unfortunate, but great play there by Marcoco. Now it looks like UNL has that top 2. Lots of spaces in the mid pack with green building up with a star in pocket. Oh my goodness. What is this item smuggling? Green now in a perfect spot, especially with no shock happening in this race. So far, going to end up chaining that. See what ends up happening. Gets double reds. Very, very, very good pull. Blocks that one with a bomb. And ends up getting hit. Green is going to end up taking that. Blue is out. Targets T-Bugs with Marcoco in first. See if Green here can make a play with the horn. Oh my, Marcoco has reds. Green gets backed, unfortunately, but does not lose any spots to that.
Still a really good race for UAH, getting 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Lot of, I mean, they didn't get 1, but they had almost everything behind it. I think we saw a little bit there towards the end of like that same thing of what makes UNL so strong, where we see like even though like T-Bugs is getting blued, Marcoco can come in with shrooms and then they've still got 1. And we have now for the first time 9 races in, UAH is in the lead by 4 points. UNL got to the lead in race 1 and held it the whole time. This is the first time they've slipped from the lead.
We'll see how UNL answers that deficit with picking what I believe to be one of their best tracks.
Absolutely. What Neo Bowser City is to UAH is what Mute City is for UNL. This is like their track. Like if you see any of their players' TT times on Mute City, it's crazy how good they are at it. We're not going to see it yet. There are still 4 more races. If they keep picking it, it'll probably happen. Athens definitely a good pick here. I mean, you have every spot other than 1, pick the anti-1.
Right, you just got to get that person out. Be aggressive.
So many
going back to the quad box.
Only 1 person has to pull a red.
And here, let the chaos begin. This first section of Athens always has something going on. He's got trip greens by Mark Coco in 6, going wide to avoid inting any of their teammates there. Very, very, very smart play there. As Green here continues to run, Mark Coco gets hit out. Crazy now back. Creo gets hit out. No Shroom there. Shroom's up to maintain that speed and is going around for coins. Oh, let's tune into what Green's doing over here in 1. Fortunate hit there by the bat, but maybe tactical, trying to get that horn in 1. See, now minimap is
seeing that Green in second.
Not a
Green
bad
flying
play
by
there.
Happening.
Trying to see what spots there are in the back. And it looks like UNL has a lot of the bottom spots. So wouldn't be shocked. This, shock will probably come towards those moving circle item sets on lap 3. And it does. Creo is back there, though, for some back presence as well. Nice. We'll see what Creo can do here. Does look like UAH still has that top 2 up there. Mark Coco has 3. It looks like, and a beautiful bomb play there. Able to stay and has trip greens in 1. Wonderful, wonderful play there. And now this is swapped into a UNL top 2.
Yeah, especially on this ending section, if you have defense like we see Mark Coco does right now, the only opportunity where like a mushroom can be really powerful is what we just saw Green take. And he did manage to sneak in his second with it, but he still got to dodge these trip greens in this tight tunnel. And we see it can't happen. The trip greens are just too wide.
Very hard. Green ends up sneaking out 5 there. And it's hard. It's kind of hard because you want to be able to challenge for those spots. But very, very hard to, pass those triple greens. And, Mark Coco ain't throwing them. And
yeah, absolutely the right play by Mark Coco. That bomb was incredible. Getting redded, losing the single green to get the triples out, really good. Because, if you can't pass somebody with triple greens when you're going through a tunnel the width of triple greens. Mark Coco just forms a wall that Green is then forced to crash into, and then this makes him slip all the way from 2nd to 5th. UAH did still gain slightly off that race. They're now up 10 with 3 races to go. They've been having a very slow comeback this entire time, but every race they've just been creeping up slowly but surely.
all right. Picking sky high from their spots usually is seen as a group runner, but love to see how they pick it here. I honestly love the track, and it's going to be very interesting to see now with how we're going to be able to play Mute City here.
Somebody had to have swapped to Ink Striker, right? With Sky High Sunday and Mute City.
Yeah,
someone had to.
You had to. Let's see if anybody has. Nobody in the top presence did.
Don't think so.
It would have been cool. It's like swapping to max speed on Moonview Highway or any of those tracks where you obviously have a better kart combination. But we'll see how this shakes out. Not an item set until extremely late here, so very good to get your coins up.
We see Green already on max coins. Really good spot to be in. Cheese up there too. Looking like UAH has 2 and 3 right now.
And might be aggressive. When Mark Coco trailing that bomb, Green gets the momentum taken away from them. And Mark Coco it doesn't get the trick. I was about to say good Nisk. I jinxed it.
But now for it too. I think Crazy hitting it there.
Play. As we look like we got Crazy here in 1. Creo there in 6. There's a mix of UNL and UAH players there, but 5-6 for UNL. Looks like 3-2? No, 4-3?
UNL's got a lot of bottom spots right now, though. I mean, yes, this track is a runner, but still having back presence is always a good thing to have if you can't be in the top.
Right. Looks like Creo getting Ghost there in a top spot. Going to take the Shroom cut. Not surprising here. And probably ends up here in 1. I definitely wouldn't challenge the red, but is going to have a blue. Let's see if they can outrun it. Oh, and cannot. Unfortunate, but lands in not a horrible spot.
Not the worst place to get blue. Being right on top of the boost panel is the next best thing that could happen to you.
Oh, now we're looking here at a UAH top 2. Crazy trying to contest tops. Very close to that trail. And Short gets off that trail. Now a UAH top 3. Crazy getting ranked again. But luckily there's UNL players behind.
And boost panels and the coin thing to recover. Do still have that time loss, but you can make up a lot of the damage done here.
I don't know how many UAH players know the Nisk or have shrooms there to take the shroom cut. Crazy is going to try to get any spots they can. Oh, and gets Horde. Luckily, a lot of red Yoshis and Birdos were behind them. And a Dry Bones to take up some of those spots.
That's still a top 2 for UAH, though. Anytime you're getting a top 2, even if you're getting bottom 4 with that top 2, you're still going to have a good race. And UAH has to maintain right now. They don't have a huge margin, but they've still got a little bit of room to play with. Like,
and we'll see what ends up.
Added to the scoreboard in a second.
And plus 14 now for UAH. A little positive there.
They've kept having these slight gains the whole time. Like 5-6 races ago, like UNL was up by 20, then up by about 10, then up by 4, and then UAH has been creeping ahead since.
Yeah, it's been slow. Like UNL has had a dominant first couple races, but seeing the UAH grind comeback here has been amazing. I mean, if they can extend this lead here, I'd say feeling very confident going into the last race. The UAH, very much in the driver's seat right now. If they get Waluigi Stadium now for the 11th race.
There's definitely a bit of a disparity if you're looking at that loading screen there. You see Green on 117 points after 10 races.
Let's see what we get here. Definitely always looking for a shroom to shroom up early. This Crazy just goes for the UMT there. Oh, Creo with a shroom.
A lot of bumps.
Attempts to go for the Nisk, ends up shrooming up instead. The top 2 here for UNL. Ooh, he gets trailed by Marcoco and doesn't get the mushroom boost. We see Creo here. Now might go for a horn play. And very good, but does line fail, sadly, getting knocked off the path. And now it seems like we got a lot of UNL tops. They do have a top 3. 4 shrooms and 4 for Green JC. No blue shell dodge up top yet for UNL, but getting rid of that green, not a bad decision. Definitely not high on coins.
Looking like UAH has broken into the tops a little bit there. Yeah, we see Greens in 3rd now, right behind their top 2. And quad shrooms in 3, really strong. Maybe not so much in this position. Maybe you kind of starts to want to have some attack items for something exactly like that. But you've got those shrooms to recover just the same.
Offense. T-Bugs now comes in 3rd and secures that top 3 for UNL. And Green trying to swap over, gets something here to try to break up these tops. And Trip Greens is just the thing he needed. Does get... Ooh, takes that out just in time. And it's going to go the slow way with the Nisk. Gets a UNL player, excuse me, there. Let's see. No clue what happened to T-Bugs on the bottom there, but does take 3rd. Probably should throw this green up and see if they could get a little smart bounce action going on. But might be trying to just secure everything behind. Blue shell is out. Let's see what this green can do. Mark Coco with a back attempt there. Does look like UAH got 3-4, but I see a lot of red Yoshis there. Creo with 9th. Crazy
looks like
there
the
in the
spots
back.
after the top spots were all pretty scattered. Oh, never mind. 3 through 5, 7 through 9. Not awful for UAH, like still pretty good positions. And they still have a little bit of ground to lose.
Right, and it looked like Crazy was holding blue there in the back. So definitely being a really, really good teammate there, and securing top 2 is very, very important.
Especially on a running track, you gotta hold blue. Like somebody's got to do it, but looks like that did turn out to be a slight gain for UAH. They go up 16 going into the final race here.
Yep, UNL going with a DK Mountain pick, but now going to Electrodrome. I kind of like this pick. Not a lot of CKL, I think, picks this track. It's definitely something funky. So we head into the last race. Anything could happen here, folks.
Yeah. These obscure track picks, kind of, that you maybe don't see as often, like Electrodome, you're picking them for a reason. Like, there's only 12 tracks in a war, and you're not going to get every single track pick. You don't go here because you're out of options. You go here for a reason.
So we have Crazy kind of in the bottom left of your screen, immediately going for a bagging strategy. I think UNL right now is thinking, if we get Shock, we can put ourselves in position to win ourselves the match. As we have Marcoco in first, Creo now in second. Gonna hold this room for cut. I'll hopefully pick up a couple more coins here. Nice little drift in there. And beautiful UMT out of cut. I think that's a lot of UNL behind, though, especially after Marcoco hit green. Oh, did not. It looks
Like Creo got trailed or greened or something happened to Creo, but either way, UNL is kind of cracking into the tops a little bit. They've got 2 and 3 right now.
At 2-3, UAH does have 1-4. Green taking the green path. Shroom in first. Very, very set here. Does get both coins there. Shroom is ghosted, which is unfortunate.
Really bad, especially with such a big cut and another lap for blue to come. There is never a bad time to have Shroom on this track, especially with this cut being so close to the end of the race. If it's lap 3 and you're in first, you Shroom in the cut. And now that option's gone.
But now it looks like Nebraska has one, and blue is out. And getting ready, they're nearly hit by blue. Crazy now up in third, trying to go for a ring play. Green dodging the ring there. Now we got 1-3 for UNL, 1-3-4. First and fourth just got hit out.
Looks like first had a blue dodge of some kind, still about that same margin from before. Going for a play here, 2 greens collide. Really bad for UNL. They're losing 6 coins at the end of the race too.
And it looks like Nebraska just got first. Crazy here, going to try to shroom up, gain some spots. And does not get it over UAH. UAH with a 2-4. It looks like 10-12. 11-12. And I think that's enough. I think that is enough for UAH to hold on. It looks like it. Now going back here. Green with a 139, 114 for Marcoco, 93 for Ouija, 92 for Mop.
Yeah, Nebraska did make up a little bit of ground there in the end, but UH still took the win by just 10 points. But considering the normal finish against the Reds is losing, that is the best anyone's done against UNL all season. And that record is now 4-2 overall.
And now, and even looking into this division, now we get UNL's first loss of the season. Now UNL going down to 4-1, still ahead in top of the division. UAH making a good statement, 3-2 now. They're going to go play against Tennessee, and it's going to be a very, very good match. I think that one will be. I'll be streaming that one, but that one's another one to look out for later this week. And honestly, if UAH can beat UNL, it's kind of scary here.
Mm-hmm. Prior to tonight, there were almost no undefeated teams left in the league, and that was one of the last few, and they just got knocked out too. Everybody this season has been beatable. This is one of the closest seasons we've had yet. So many matches have been decided by these tight margins, and this is yet another one of them.
It's most of the all of these D3 matches have been excellent so far, which is, and this is proving it's kind of this, like it's a pit. Everyone's getting in on each other. They're getting, it's aggressive. I think it's very hard. It's going to be very, very hard to make playoffs in this division. It's going to be hard to come out of the first round of playoffs. It's going to be a grunge match here.
Yeah, and what a story like this match was too. Like UNL started in the lead. I feel like most people going in probably would have bet on UNL. I think we look at chat as well. We can see on the matchup details how people bet. Trying to check that out right now. Yeah, chat bet on UNL pretty overwhelmingly, about almost 2-1, and then we saw UAH won.
It was phenomenal. We saw Green there taking a lot of chances, doing kind of what Green does best here. And I think that's kind of this X factors that everyone was kind of supporting Green here. I know I saw Crazy there in the back. It was very hard for UNL to come back some of those matches because it was just so late, which is unfortunate. But these teams have, I think both of these teams are two of the best, if not the best, in this division. And
Oh, for sure.
it's
Absolutely.
going to be crazy. It's, again, like I've been saying, it's going to be a crazy time.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw just every race, like I keep talking about it, but it's just so incredible to watch. Like it was something like UNL, I think, gained the first 6 races, and then UAH gained 5 straight races in a row. Barely lost any ground in the end. Only lost maybe like 4-6 points. Like just such a dominant second half, just incredible.
Yeah, and just even those super small wins. I'm looking at the Sakuji bot and figuring out, this they just went -12 or +12, +8, +6, +4, +2. Just chaining wins. Any wins here move along. So, and now kind of, and just a lot of these shock pulls. I was amazed at some of the shock pulls, and dodging Green with dodging Green and Bill to have shock in fourth on I believe it was Sunshine.
That's absurd. I don't know how that happens. I don't understand how shocks get that far up.
Yeah, and
But I mean, it's always awesome to watch, especially get to see it happen in real time. It's just so fun.
yeah, and it's gonna, like, plays like that are what win you the match. And I think a thing that doesn't get talked, you can look at the scores, you can look at the sheets. It's morale too. Keeping a team in it, mentally is kind of, as important as, physically playing the game. You know, I don't think UAH backed down here. I think they played super hard all match, and that's why they were able to win today.
Mhm.
So now we actually have some of the UAH players here to interview as well. Welcome, guys.
So
Hello.
Going into kind of just some general questions here, was it hard to kind of bring the team, was the team morale down at all? Or, what was that, reaction to have to climb back up? And, what did that feel for the team? How did that make the team feel?
I
I
mean,
don't think down enough that it was really that bad. It was pretty close the whole time, I thought.
Yeah,
Right. Well, I mean,
yeah,
the top 4 on high roll put us behind a good bit, but we came back pretty quickly, so it was just kind of focused the whole time, I guess.
and staying locked in, very, very important. And I was looking at what was the thought process going into picking Electrodrome that last race?
I said I would and did. I usually do pretty good on it. I got that time.
I think Creo's mic is acting up a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just kind of trying to pick something that we would not, get top 6 on, because I think we're up like 16 at that point, and we just needed to maintain. So Electrodrome was one that we picked a lot in previous seasons, and one that we felt like we could at least get a decent race on.
Yeah, because if you look at the Sakuchi stats from this match versus the final score, they tell very different stories. Like you see, yeah, overall it's only a margin of 10 points, but you guys chain like 5 straight gains in a row, and they had something like 4 or 5 wins against you guys the first 6 races. It was very, I mean, the momentum in this match just swung so hard in your direction. It was really incredible to watch. So I guess then that kind of leads me into the next thing I'm thinking about, like what do you guys feel like was the difference? Like, what were you able to do to win against this team that almost no one else has been able to beat yet? What do you think was the key to pull it off?
We definitely had some lucky moments. Like, Sunshine Airport could have been a really bad way to start it off, if not for like the crazy double shock pull right there. I didn't even I don't even know how I got shock in 5 there. Like I thought I had a banana behind the bullet bill, and then I just at the end of the glider realized I had shock, and then yeah, we were able to break up their tops a little bit. But Neo Bowser was also a really big race for us. I think we got like clutch top 4 right at the end there. Um, yeah, other than that, most of them were pretty close. But if we hadn't pulled that shock and if we hadn't managed to keep tops on Neo, then it could have gone very differently.
Yeah, Neo Bowser definitely your guys' strongest race this entire time. And I mean, I think we see why it's a track you guys all go back to so much because it works so well for you and it just does things like that, like gets you a top 4 and immediately undoes so much of like some maybe pretty rough races early on, so quickly made the game so even again. I guess maybe I'm curious, like what about Neo Bowser City was it that like made it such a draw for you guys? Because like I know a lot of people who like enjoy the track, but it's maybe not their favorite in the entire game. You know?
I wish I could say it's something special about the track itself, but that's just the because we use time trials for quote unquote tryouts for our
Right.
team. So like at the beginning of each semester, we just pick a track that for everyone to be like the staff ghost on or something
Mhm.
to be able to join the team. And like last semester that was Neo Bowser, and so we just went back and forth time trialing it a lot, and so that just kind of became our go-to.
All right. For the last question, I feel like I can probably be a little less biased in asking you about this because every week you play 2 matches. Your guys' next match is of course against University of Tennessee. I guess like coming off this win, what do you guys feel on going into this next game?
I guess I'll go ahead and go then. Uh, I mean, I think we're gonna have high morale, but we just got to stay focused and make sure that we do what we're supposed to and make sure use items correctly and just get the win.
All right, and we've got more coming up on the CKL streams tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got a double feature. We've got New Mexico State versus Buena Vista at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Then we've got a brand new panel show for CKL around the Super Horn at 10 p.m., followed by another primetime match of OU versus University of Michigan at 11 p.m. It's going to be a great night tomorrow. A lot of really exciting gameplay and some of the best the league has to offer tomorrow. Be sure not to miss it. All right, and thank you for joining us for Primetime Hour on the CKL stream tonight. I have been Airhawkey signing off.
And I've been Ghost. And thank you for watching.